Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Good Work Show. We are excited because we are on our second episode of the new season, third episode of the new season. It went by fast. I don't know. You know what? The first one was just us. That's
Right.
why.
But
Yeah.
we matter. So
Yes, that's right. It was the second time that we have a guest on, and we have another one of our colleagues at Goodwill of North Georgia, Mr. Kevin Hood, who is joining us today. And you're joining us from a career center, right?
Yes, Stockbridge Career Center.
Stockbridge. All right. So so excited that you could join us today, Kevin. Kevin has been at Goodwill for well, you know what? I'm going to let you talk about that, Kevin. So why don't you give our audience tell them a little bit about yourself, what you do at Goodwill, and how long you've been at Goodwill.
Okay, all right. My name is Kevin Hood. I've been at Goodwill for 18 years and counting. My job title, I was the senior job coach, but now we're doing some research. My job title now is a skills instructor. And so basically what we're doing, we're in the process of cross-training. We merged the career and the actual career services. And so now we'll be doing a lot of other different duties, but we'll still be serving the same populations.
Okay.
great. So day to day, Kevin, what does it look like and how you interact with folks who are coming into the Career Center looking for a job? So if I were to walk into Stockbridge and I was looking for a job and I ran into you, how would you be able to help me?
Well, first of all, we would probably try to, ascertain, what your need is. Basically, we'll get you to register because we want to be able to track, all the different information that we can get, which will help Goodwill in terms of providing resources. And also, of course, Goodwill is big on, data because the more we get, the more we can kind of get grants and things for. So when somebody first comes in, we try to figure out what is their need. And that's based on the information they give us. But everybody, we try to get them registered, which means that now they have access to, all of Goodwill and Goodwill Connector, which we can do resumes and kind of follow them up and give them information that they will need to try to help them get a job.
All right. And 18 years, Kevin, that's I didn't realize it had been that long. I thought I was the OG on this podcast today. You got a few years on me. So 18 years, which is a long time. And you talked about how you had recently just changed what you do and with the restructure internally, but you're still serving people. You're still interacting with those folks who are coming to look for a job day to day. And you kind of walked us through that process. But walk us through your journey at Goodwill. So I think it's interesting. A lot of people who are probably listening didn't know about the services that we offer. And in the first couple of episodes, Trinice and I, we talked about what we do with Mission. And then we interviewed Alicia Battle, who gave us a little bit more about what happens in the mission world. But it would be interesting to talk about you and how you came to get into your role, because I think as probably most of us and most of the public, we knew about Goodwill, we knew about the stores and donation centers, and we got to work at Goodwill. Then we found out, oh wow, there's like a ton of other things. So if you can go back 18 years ago, tell us what Kevin was thinking when you came to Goodwill and what you learned since then.
Actually, I came to Goodwill and my heart was set on being a case manager and a counselor. And so I had a position which was on a grant. And so the grant ran out, and then I became a job coach, which is, really still serving, the population because my background is in mental health. Basically, I've counseled and directed. So basically, it's just really, fulfilling something that I really desire to do. And so Goodwill evolved during the time I've been here from when I started at Glenwood, and then we've branched out. I mean, we have definitely, grew. I mean, people can't imagine how much we've grown. And so as we evolve, of course, we still, our passion is to put people to work. And with that, we definitely serve a lot of people with, I'll say, issues or barriers instead of using the word disabilities. And so with that, of course, I've been at least about 4 or 5 different sites: North Lake, Northeast Plaza, Old National. I mean, wherever I'm needed at, pretty much. But the actually we keep learning in terms of how to serve them better because with technology, of course, that has helped us. But we still have to give personal, I guess, training to people who really are not technology savvy.
That's great. And I think, it's always good to hear from our folks who have been around since the beginning, since kind of our merger and growth and, bringing our services to communities that we weren't able to touch before. It's interesting and excited. Even, for me, I've been a Goodwill. I've realized now I'm like, oh, I'm starting to creep into that demographic of I've been here for a while. I used to be the newbie, but now I'm like looking around. I'm like, there's a lot of people who are newer than I am now, but our growth is exciting and cool that you're able to see it all the way through. And I think especially looking at the technology, whether it's, being able to connect people on career connectors that they can make use of the services at home or going to our different career centers and seeing even just the evolution of the programs that we have to offer people have changed so much over the years. So it's always good to have some of the folks around who've been there before because they can bring a lot to the table to say, hey guys, remember we used to do this way and now we're changing. But sometimes some of those old lessons are still relevant. I'm sure that there's some things that you can reach back into from the very first couple of years that you're still using these days.
Well, I think that we never can get away from hands-on because with the populations that we serve better, it's definitely, the interpersonal, the compassion that we are able to show them. And you can't do everything with the internet because the people that come here and get served by us, it's a different experience for them. And I think that as we embrace technology, we'll never get away from our mission, which is putting people to work, but we also embrace families too. And I think we do more of that with the personal touch that we give.
Yeah, that's a great point and a great segue into why people should come to Goodwill. What's the difference between them coming to us and getting our help with, getting a job, getting a better job, or starting on to a career? That's a little bit of a commercial for it. If there was one other thing that we would want to get across to our audience today and get from you, Kevin, because you've got 18 years of it, is a story about someone who has maybe come to our career center and maybe gotten help from you or maybe one of your colleagues that's really just been an impactful success story for you. So do you have a favorite one that you might be able to share with us?
Absolutely. I have one that the Goodwill family knows very well. It's Mr. Carl Walker. Now, Mr. Carl Walker, people don't understand that he actually came through the program. And I met him when I was over at North Lake, and he came through the veterans program. And he excelled in the program. I mean, he was like at a point where I don't know if I can do this. And I say, no, we're going to give you a chance. We're not going to give up on you. And I seen him excel in different positions to where he actually, I think, probably, really developed the vet program while he was here. And he went on to do about 13 years. I think he retired about 3 or 4 years ago. But I mean, he became, the ultimate, Goodwill worker just to show what it can do for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Miss Carl. hope he's listening. Hey, Carl, we miss you.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Kevin. We appreciate you taking a couple of minutes away from serving the folks over there in Stockbridge to talk to us and let us know a little bit about you and what you do to help serve the folks who come in there. And if you're out there listening and you're interested in finding a job or you just want to meet Kevin, head on down to Stockbridge and stop in to say hello. They'll be glad to welcome you.
It's been a pleasure. I mean, thank you again. And if you ever need information, just, contact me and let me know.
Wonderful.
We'll absolutely do that. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Well, we appreciate Kevin for coming on the show. It was great catching up with him. I don't know that I've seen him in a while.
I know. I mean, that's one thing. We promise we're not just inviting people on here just so that we can see them. Like we actually
Yeah, you're right.
we are talking to folks and bringing information, but it is good to catch up with some of our colleagues that we haven't seen in a while. And yeah, 18 years, that's a long time to be doing this work, but that also shows you that people are dedicated to the work and they are interested in what we're doing and what, you know, in our mission. Nobody does anything that long if you don't really care about it. So
that is true. And I'm glad he said he was at Stockbridge. So for those of you who are listening and maybe this is your first episode, you hadn't picked up with the other two, we encourage you to go back so that you can learn a little bit more about what Kevin was talking about today. But we have 14 career centers that are located across our territory. He happened to be in the one in Stockbridge, but you could walk into any of the ones that we have at Goodwill of North Georgia or go online at careerconnector.org. But as he mentioned, you know, we want to see your face. So we encourage you to come into the Career Center. Like I said, 14 of them, they are open 5 or 6 days a week. So you can find time that works for you. And we just want to be able to help you. I think, you know, now we are, I guess at this point, I don't know if we will ever be out of the pandemic. Doesn't seem like it, but there's always something that will be in our environment in a health capacity. But we do want to make sure and let you all know that it's safe to come in. Our team members, if there's anybody that you know, that doesn't feel sick or doesn't feel comfortable or feels sick and doesn't feel comfortable coming in, we can absolutely accommodate you for that. But we do want you to come in, because we also have employers that are there. We also have, you know, if you come in, we may be able to ask you another question about your job search or see something that's posted on a board or have a flyer that you may not be able to get your hands on if you just were looking at Career Connector or online platforms, or maybe you just called, you may not have access to see those things. So we encourage you to do that. But if you can't get to us or don't feel comfortable, we do have the technology to be able to support you wherever you are. So yeah, come in and like Trini said, go see Kevin.
yeah. Or any of the other people that are working there, because they all will equally be eager to support you in your job search and to help you reach your goals. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back whenever the next episode airs, which I think is a week. That sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So more from us and more from Goodwill. Talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.